Good morning, everybody. I am Dr. Rajnikant, Assistant Professor, Department of Physiology. The topic of my class is Physiology of the Fever. Previously, I taught about the temperature regulation in human body, and the last chapter is Physiology of the Fever. Fever is also known as pyrexia or febrile condition. Pyrexia is the Greek word derived from the pyre, means fire. Febrile is the Latin word, means fever. Fever is generally increase in body temperature above the normal value of the individual. In individual, the oral temperature is 97.5 to 99 degree Fahrenheit and 36 degrees centigrade to 37.5 degrees centigrade with an average of 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit and 97 degrees centigrade. Auxiliary temperature is 0.5 degrees centigrade is below than the oral temperature, and the rectal temperature is 0.5 degrees centigrade more than the oral temperature. Fever is not a disease, it is a sign or symptoms of various illness. Etiology of fever may be broadly classified into infectious and non-infectious condition. However, sometimes the etiology of fever cannot be established, which is designated as pyrexia of unknown origin, that is PUO. Infectious condition. In an infectious condition, the infection by the pathogenic organism is the most common cause of the fever. In pathogenic organisms, bacteria, virus, fungi, protozoa. Non-infectious condition, trauma, inflammatory diseases like the rheumatoid arthritis, immunological disorder, and tumor. Pathogenesis. Whatever may be the cause of the fever, or etiology of the fever. Fever is caused by generation of pathogens. Pathogens may be exogenous or endogenous. Exogenous pathogens are the substance that enters in the body from the outside. Most common exogenous pathogens is the microbial organism. Whole or part of the infectious organism or the toxin released from the pathogens can act as pathogens. Most common example is endotoxin by the gram-negative bacteria. Endogenous pathogens are produced inside the body. Chemical release from the traumatic tissue, infected tissue, inflammatory cells, or the inflamed tissue. Usually, exogenous pathogens, after entering into the body, exogenous pathogens after entering into the body activate the mononuclear phagocytic cells like the monocytes, the macrophages, and produce endogenous pathogens, which produces fever through the hypothalamus. In the flow chart I have shown in the slide the condition, infection, inflammation, tissue damage, etc., which releases the pathogens, and after release of the pathogens inside the body cause activation of the mononuclear phagocytic system, in which the cells comes monocyte, macrophages, proper cells, etc., other cells are, which release cytokines, a type of the endogenous pathogens, which cause a stimulation of OVLTS in the hypothalamus, which cause activation of the preoptic area of the hypothalamus, and in the preoptic area of the hypothalamus, it causes increased production of the various prostaglandin. Most common prostaglandin which causes fever is PGE2, which causes raise of the thermostat set point in the hypothalamus. After increase of the thermostat set point in the hypothalamus, there is increased production in the heat and decrease heat loss, which causes manifestation of the fever inside the human body. Once the thermostat set point is raised by the pyrogens, heat production mechanism and the heat conservation mechanism of the body is activated till the body temperature rises to the level of the thermostat set point. Because of these mechanisms, during the generation of the fever, during the development of the fever, shivering occurs, which produces heat. Skin vessels of the skin are constricted to conserve to reduce the heat loss, and rate of metabolism is also increased, which also contribute to the heat production inside the body. Chills are felt when heat generating and the heat conserving mechanism are developed inside the body. Now, this is the phenomenon of development of the fever, in which comes the role of the hypothalamus, as I have taught in the previous classes, in the mechanism of development of the mechanism of control of the fever. And our main role of the development of fever goes through the hypothalamus, in which the thermostat set point is raised to the higher level. Now, after the development of the fever, there is termination of the fever. How fever terminated inside the body? When couch producing the pyrogens are removed from the body, set point of the hypothalamus thermostat reset back to the normal. At this junction, the body temperature is higher than the set point, new set point of the thermostat, that the heat production decreases and the mechanism of the heat loss is activated to decrease the temperature. Because of this mechanism, termination of fever occurs, there is cutaneous vasodilatation occurs, and profuse sweating occurs. The sudden change in the febrile condition associated with the profuse sweating and red and hot skin is called crisis or the flush. Now comes to the benefits of the fever. What are the benefits of the fever? Fever causes decreased inhibits growth of the microorganism or other infecting organism at higher temperature. Because of this effect, artificial flow like therapy was used in the ancient era, when there was no discovery of the antibiotic. Antibody production is increased in the high temperature. Growth of certain tumors slows down at the higher temperature. Now the harmful effect of the fever. Fever is more harmful than the beneficial aspect. In the harmful effect, it causes dehydration, negative nitrogen balance, loss of NaCl, the sodium chloride, and cause alkalosis due to the hyperventilation, permanent damage to the brain, kidney, liver, other viscera. Death may occur at the higher temperature due to the heat stroke above the 43 degrees centigrade. However, harmful effect, prolonged duration. However, fever for the prolonged duration is always harmful. That's why it needs treatment. Now, the impact of fever is known as heat stress. What is heat stress? Heat stress is impact of fever in the body. It occurs when the body cannot cool itself enough to the normal healthy temperature. When the body cannot able to assimilate excessive environmental heat, leads to progressive hypothermia, resulting in heat stress. Condition leads to the heat stress is hot and humid environment. Physical activity, physical external activity in the hot environment. Now in this condition, the evaporation of the sweats from the surface of the skin is the most important mechanism of the heat dissipation. But in this condition, this mechanism is distorted. Now, what are the heat stresses in which comes on the basis of the severity? Heat stresses is divided into four parts. In which comes heat rash, heat cramp, heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat rash is simply it causes irritation on the skin due to the sweating. Skin looks like red cluster of pimples, red pimples or sometimes blisters appears on the skin. Treatment is simply cool down the patient. Patient should be shifted to the cooler area. The skin should get dry. Water, talcum water can be applied. Heat cramps. It is simply cramping of the muscles because of deficiency of salt and electrolytes from the body or the muscle. Because of excessive sweating, it causes loss of depletion of salts and electrolytes from the body. Treatment simply is drinking water and electrolytes the salt. Heat exhaustion. Heat exhaustion is the most common symptoms of the heat, most common condition of the heat stress. It also causes due to the excessive sweating with loss of salts and electrolytes from the body, and in which the imbalance of the cardiovascular homeostasis of the body. Symptoms are mostly headache, nausea, vomiting, ataxia, confusion, vertigo. Patient sweats profusely, बहुत ज़्यादा पसीना निकलता है इस कंडीशन में. Treatment is fluid replacement with the salt, temperature reduction, and patient should be kept in the rest. Heat stroke. Heat stroke is the severe form of the heat stress. Heat stroke is also known as sunstroke. It is characterized by high temperature, neurological deficit with loss of consensus. Convulsion may occur. It is the severe form of the heat stress in which the body becomes unable to control the body temperature in the healthy range. Sweating mechanism here fails in comparison to the heat exhaustion. In heat exhaustion, there was excessive sweating, but in case of the heat stroke, their sweating mechanism is impaired. Symptom is characterized by high body temperature, altered mental state, altered sweating, nausea, vomiting, flushed skin, rapid breathing, pulse rate increases. Treatment, it is emergency, rapid reduction in the temperature and prompt hydration and the maintenance of the electrolyte.